Agent of the Four Seasons Episode 12. Assault is a shattering descent into the abyss of reclaimed trauma. It does not flinch. Where Episode 11 trembled with impatient longing, Episode 12 screams with the violence of memory, forcing a fractured soul to confront the moment her identity was stolen, not once, but repeatedly, until Hinajuku became both armor and cage. This is the series' darkest hour yet, a relentless psychological siege that intercuts desperate rescue efforts with the slow, suffocating horror of a young woman's mind being dismantled in real time. The episode weaponizes silence, repetition, and fractured dialogue to make the audience feel the exact weight of years spent erased. It is harrowing, intimate, and strangely, defiantly hopeful in its refusal to let its heroine remain broken. The episode opens in the aftermath of Episode 11's cliffhanger. Ishihara points a gun at Rosei and Ateko with shaking hands, her voice cracking under the burden of divided loyalty. My parents are both high up in Kasai. Her confession spills out in raw, painful bursts, her brother's murder as punishment, years of failed escape attempts, and the genuine warmth she felt from Rosei and Ateko that made betrayal unbearable. Rosei's response is pure, quiet steel. I'll place you under my protection. Side with me. In that moment, the episode establishes its central tension, protection versus predation, and shows how genuine human connection can fracture even the deepest indoctrination. Meanwhile, inside the besieged agency building, Hinajuku and Sakura navigate chaos as Higan Nishi remnants and security forces collide. The air is thick with paranoia. Who should I trust? The arrival of Winter security detail brings temporary relief, but the undercurrent of moles and bombs keeps every interaction razor-sharp with dread. The heart of the episode, however, is the excruciating flashback or present-day psychological collapse involving Hinajuku's captor, the Kasai leader who calls herself Mother. These scenes are devastating. We witness the slow erosion of a girl's sense of self, forced to live as someone else's daughter, told repeatedly that no one is coming, stripped of agency through psychological manipulation and implied sexual violence. The dialogue is fragmented, dissociated, often delivered in third person or broken repetitions. Hinajuku is, I am, mirroring the fracturing of identity. Maybe the she calls a different name is the real me, she whispers, a line that cuts to the bone. The mother figure's cruelty is clinical and intimate, promising family, then threatening it, using drugs, isolation, and violation as tools of control. I endured it, so you should too. The horror lies not just in the acts but in the casual normalization, the way trauma is passed down like inheritance. Hinajuku's repeated cries for Sakura and Rosei become a lifeline across time and space, her voice breaking as she begs an absent savior while her present self tries to hold on. Intercut with this are Rosei and Ateko's relentless push forward. Rosei's ice flowers motif returns with aching beauty. He has spent a decade crafting thousands of frozen blossoms in hope of giving one to her again. Their decision to charge into almost certain death is framed not as recklessness but as inevitable. Our lives have been crazy since Hinajuku and Sakura disappeared. The romantic devotion here is fierce, almost sacred, a counterpoint to the predatory love Hinajuku suffered. As the episode builds to its climax, Hinajuku's dissociation peaks. She calls out names, fights to stay present, and in a heartbreaking turn seems to cooperate suddenly, not from defeat, but perhaps from a deeper strategic survival or total emotional shutdown. The final moments leave her fate hanging as rescuers close in, the building wired to explode, and Kasai's leader closing in for a twisted homecoming. Hinajuku *, the emotional crucible. Her psychology is one of profound dissociation as survival. The episode charts her descent from fragile forward momentum, Episode 11, into total fragmentation, yet seeds of resistance remain. Her repeated calls for help are not weakness but proof that the original self was never fully extinguished. The third-person speech evolves from protective distance to a desperate attempt to anchor herself. Sakura steadfast guardian, now fighting on multiple fronts, physical threats and her charge's mental collapse. Her bond with Hinajuku is maternal, romantic, and protective all at once, deepened by shared trauma. Rosei the unwavering winter blade. His growth is in choosing hope-fueled action over cold isolation. His devotion to Hinajuku is his core identity, expressed through both poetic memory, ice flowers, and brutal determination. Ishihara a standout supporting figure whose quick arc from coerced antagonist to protected ally humanizes the enemy camp and reinforces themes of redemption through kindness. The central theme is assault on identity, how trauma, captivity, and false family can overwrite the self. Hidden sub-themes include the perversion of motherhood, the healing power of chosen loyalty versus blood ties, and the radical act of remembering who you were before the world tried to remake you. Love appears in two terrifyingly opposed forms. Possessive destruction versus sacrificial protection. Loneliness is visceral. Healing feels distant but possible through the voices that still call her name. Pacing is merciless. Quiet, suffocating close-ups in the trauma sequences contrast with frenetic movement in the rescue thread, creating rhythmic whiplash that mirrors dissociation. Repetitive dialogue and visual motifs, frozen flowers, locked rooms, shattering ice, create symbolic density. Sound design is likely sparse and oppressive during Hinagiku's scenes. Muffled cries, heavy breathing, sudden silence, making every external call for her name feel like salvation. Seasonal imagery, winter's ice as both weapon and promise of beauty, gains new tragic resonance. Here are all the best scenes of the episode so far. 1. Ishihara's confession and Rosie's vow of protection. A masterclass in earning redemption through vulnerability and decisive kindness. 2. The extended mother confrontation sequences. Some of the most psychologically brutal anime has dared in recent years. The dissociation, the gaslighting, the broken repetitions. These scenes will haunt viewers. 3. Rosie's Ice Flowers monologue. Poetic, romantic, and devastatingly determined. A perfect counterbalance to the horror. 4. Hinagiku's final cries for help intersecting with the rescuer's approach. Pure emotional convergence. Here are fan questions and confusing moments. Hinagiku's sudden cooperation. This is dissociation and survival strategy under extreme duress. It is not consent or defeat but a mind protecting itself when fighting becomes impossible. The series has been building this through her fragmented speech since earlier episodes. The exact nature of the past captivity, grounded in the subtitles as prolonged psychological, physical, and sexual abuse by the Kasai leader who kidnapped and impersonated / replaced Hinagiku's identity. Details are deliberately fragmented to mirror trauma memory. Higen Nishi's shifting allegiance. Their worship of Hinagiku stems from her sacrificial act 10 years ago, turning them from eradicationists to spring supremacists. Their presence now is opportunistic alliance born of reverence. Agent of the 4 seasons episode 12 is television that earns its scars. It drags viewers through the darkest recesses of trauma, not for shock value, but to make the light of genuine love feel earned and precious. By showing the systematic destruction of a girl's self, it makes every voice still calling her Hinagiku feel like an act of revolution. The episode does not offer easy catharsis. It offers the trembling promise that even after the assault on body, mind, and name, the self can still answer. When the right people come looking, this is not comfortable anime. It is necessary anime. And when the rescuers finally break through, the audience will be right there beside them, hearts pounding, desperate for the spring to bloom again.